Central Time. And of course, you can find me on here at African Diaspora News Channel, 11 a.m. Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. again, Central Time, and all of that. So we're going to wait for everybody to come on. But before we do, I want to say, Valerie, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love and appreciate you for that. You came in here swinging, and I appreciate that so very much. So again, we're going to wait for everybody else to come on. But in the meantime, I got some things to tell you. We are going to be talking about a Black politician, and I talk about him a lot, Representative Isaac Bryan from Los Angeles, California, who sabotaged reparations, right? We're always going to talk about that. He is now saying that the USA, America, should take care of Black folks, okay? So I'm going to show y'all a video of him saying that he's paying homage to Black History Month. You know, we get to see our Black politicians talk about Black History Month, you know, February, the shortest month of the year. And then after that, they don't talk about us no more. But anyway, we'll get into that in just a few. But in the meantime, there's a couple things I want to share with you. Of course, you can find me along with Brother Phil. I believe Sister Vicky will be there as well. The Ohio Black Expo, May 23rd. We will be speaking. We were there last year. Again, it was a blast. They invited us back, and we are so happy to do that. And I will tell you, okay, when we were there, all the seats were filled, okay, that there was standing room only, right? Now, we're hoping that it's that and then some this year. So we want everybody to come on out, to come have a great conversation with us like we did last year, right? For those of y'all who went, y'all were able to just come up to us and talk to us and hug us and all of that. So we cannot wait. So in order to do that, get your tickets at ohioblackexpo.com. Again, ohioblackexpo.com. Cannot wait to see you all there. Then, of course, later on this summer, we will be at the ADNC Narrative Power Summit, where we're going to be having a conversation about a whole host of things. So you can go to africandiasporanews.org/Canada. Again, if I didn't say we're going to be in Toronto, Canada, that's a big deal. But again, africandiasporanews.org/Canada to get your tickets. We cannot wait to see you there, but you got to get a ticket so we can see you there, okay? Love and appreciate you in advance for that. And of course, we have an app for you, African Diaspora News app that you can get on your Google or Apple Play Store, where you can always have us at your fingertips. And I know you can go on YouTube or whatever the case is, but ain't nothing like getting a Black-owned app, right? Black-owned all the way through. Is not that, you know, the face of a Black app, but them people is, you know, putting the keys in the backs of the people, you know, that's the face or whatever. So you have a Black app at your fingertips where you can click and you can get information like we're going to get here, right? It's very important that we all get the information, because they ain't going to give it to us like we going to give it to us. When I say they, I mean the mainstream media and all these other people. They going to water it down, and they may, you know, give it a little cute conversation, but it ain't going to be the conversation that needs to be had, right? So again, if you haven't gotten our app, please go to your Google or Apple Play Store. And for those of you who already have it, love and appreciate you. And as I always say, if you get married or whatever it is, you need somebody to dance, I'll dance. I'm a good dancer. Anyway, so I think I've done enough tap dancing for the sake of time. And I'll say hello to everybody else. Well, you know, let's do it right now. At Atlanta, then I know I said that wrong. I'm sorry, but how you doing, King Noble? What's going on with you? Delon, what's up? Cloudness, Mike Nice in the building, loving freedom. Me too. JJ, what's going on? Sister Sunlight and Talia. Hope I said that right. How you doing? And McQueen. Okay, so let's get into it. So y'all always know that I'm gonna stay on the bumper of that of Representative Isaac Bryan. And of course, you know, all of the other ones, when I see things, he just seems to be the one that's more out in front for whatever reason. So Isaac Bryan is a representative from Los Angeles, California. He's part of the Assembly, right? Or the California Legislative Black Caucus. Now, I talk about him a lot. Oh, and in fact, I was interviewed by the New York Post the other day about him. So if y'all want to go to the New York Post and, you know, put in Isaac Bryan or something like that, Demetra Kaye, the article will come up. Well, allegedly, he has spent some campaign funds. I'm saying allegedly, right? Because it came from somebody else. He spent about $220,000 on Instagram posts to kind of like boost himself. This is the allegation. And some of the posts are kind of weird. you want to go check it out. They ask my opinion about it because they see that I take him to task. Nevertheless, you guys remember when he, along with the California Legislative Black Caucus, decided that they would not provide reparations for Black Californian descendants of slavery because, in my opinion, they were stalling for Big Daddy Gavin, the governor there, and not even taking the bills to him at all to either pass them or veto them. They just didn't do it. And so, of course, they were caught doing that. Well, not too long ago, I came across this video of Isaac Bryan. I actually saw it on X. And he's, I don't know, just talking about Black history, this, that, and the other. And these are some of the things that he said that he actually posted. I'm like, well, why would you post this, especially after what you did? Okay, so watch this.
Take care of Black folks. You take care of this country. And this country should take care of Black folks because for over 400 years, Black folks have been taking care of this country. It's important that we reflect and we look backwards at history. But it's even more important that we realize that we're living in it. That the active erasure of that history is happening in real time. The silencing of the modern heroes is happening at this time. The incarceration of Black journalists in Minneapolis just a few weeks ago, civil rights leaders, the fact that Jesse Jackson won't be buried as an American hero, but podcasters can. All of these things represent the injustices that are still occurring, and that is why Black history isn't just a celebration and a day of reflection, it is a call to action. Come here seeking refuge. We didn't flee seeking asylum. We didn't immigrate here. We were stolen. Millions died as property in the Atlantic Ocean. Their bodies in the bottom of that ocean floor today. Many more died here on the homeland, separated from their families, bred, beaten, maimed, mocked. Our laws affirmed this. Even laws here in California passed in this body. The most draconian fugitive slave law in the country, here in California. The Supreme Court was not infallible. Dred Scott was declared property. Plessy v. Ferguson. We have had to fight for everything. And every time we make progress, somebody tries to knock us back.
When I tell you, he gets on my very last nerve, it is like nails to a chalkboard. So y'all heard everything that that man said. He is, in a sense, gave us a history lesson. Okay, he went all the way to the transatlantic slave trade, and our bodies are at the bottom of the ocean. And he also talked about how they're trying to erase, Black history. And we were brought here. We're not migrants or immigrants. We were stolen. He had it all down, right? He sounded pretty good, but it's like, how dare you give a history lesson after what you did? And then he talked about how, Jesse Jackson won't be buried as a hero. And to me, I keep hearing people cry about that. It's like, well, we bury him. The Black community buries. Why are you worried about what white folks won't let him do? Him land in a rotund at the Capitol, whatever, that doesn't mean anything, right? We cry over the silliest things. Nevertheless, so again, he knows all of that. He knows all of that and decided to do, and I got to do it, right? I'm going to do it. He knew all of that, and this is what he did.
This is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put Black folks in prisons, but now you want to be a reparations person. But you won't vote for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it up.
I would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
It up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Okay, so of course that was on August 31st, 2024, where he and the California Legislative Black Caucus decided that they were not going to put the bills before Gavin Newsom at all. Again, not letting him vote on them or veto them. Now, these reparations bill, one would establish Freeman's Bureau, and money, right? The Skrilla, the money that, the reparations. But they decided they weren't going to do it. Now they came out saying, oh, it's a multi-year study. It was already a multi-year study, right? Now I should say that Bill Esselstyn, he was an assembly member at the time. He now works for the Trump administration. He's the one that caught the California Legislative Black Caucus, because again, he heard all of the commotion and people celebrating outside, Black folks, right, all over California had went to the state capitol to see what was going to happen. And they told him, well, this is why we're here. And he was like, they ain't doing nothing in there like that. I haven't even heard those bills come up to the floor. So that's when he went and caught the footage. I think he deserves an Oscar. I really do, because I'm going to continue to use that clip. But yeah, so then obviously when he caught him, Isaac there was mad. Well, what about you? You won't vote for reparations. Listen, Bill Esselstyn is a Republican. They're not really for reparations. And of course, the Democrats aren't for reparations either. But it's like, Bill Esselstyn didn't take those bills or waste Black people's time with studying the reparations, this, that, and the other. You did. When I say you, I mean Isaac Bryan. You and your homies, y'all wasted everybody's time by putting those bills and act like he was going to do something and didn't take them. It wasn't Bill. So there he was deflecting and gaslighting. Oh, well, you don't do this. And what about the 3 strikes law and incarceration and all this other stuff that had nothing to do with what he was caught doing, right? So to anybody seeing that, and again, he is up for re-election, District 55 there in Los Angeles. He is up for re-election, and people should know about this. Now, I always say I'm going to talk about this, and I made this my mission because, for one, I know a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people, and I see Africa Town Coalition, along with Brother Billion, Sister Brandy, Brother Raymond, and a whole host of them, when they're out and about at these functions where, these politicians, they like to go, right? They like to go to the Black History parades and all these other things. And I see them out there, and they're telling people, because, they're on the bumper of these politicians. And then other people come up and say, well, why y'all doing this? What's going on? And then they tell them, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. He did, right? So we got to, really be vocal about these things, but more about that in just a minute. So yeah, that's Isaac Bryan, and he's been there in office since 2021, and he wants to go back in November. He should not go back. Why? Because as I get to thinking about this more and more, and I think we all know this, they play out of the same old playbook, right? Remember Kamala saying, it's the same old playbook when she was talking about Trump. Well, believe it or not, they have a same old playbook. And I'm going to play y'all an oldie but goodie from her same old playbook.
Policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
Okay. That was Kamala, oldie but goodie. I have that in my arsenal of oldie but goodies. But, she said, I'm not going to do something that's just going to benefit Black people. No. Okay. And it's not just Kamala. It's all of them. And specifically with, that of Isaac Bryan and his homies. And I'm going to find the clip one day. But one of the sisters there, when they found out that they were being sabotaged, she says, and this is when the election was going on. 2024, she says, oh, your homegirl gonna pay for this, right? His homegirl being Kamala, she's basically saying, okay, yeah, you can't count on us, right? Because y'all did that to us and y'all want us to go put her in office, and we know that she ain't trying to give Black folks, or Black descendants of slavery, I should say, reparations. And so they said, we're gonna make her pay for it. Now some will say urban legend has it that, yeah, they made her pay for it because we know that Kamala Harris did not go to office and she got less votes, or less of the Black vote than, Barack, Biden, and even Hillary, right? So we started to see people not show up for her. But again, they play out of the same old playbook, pretending that they're going to do something for Black folks, but they're not. They talk a good game, but they don't walk a good game. And unfortunately, we believe them. Oh, okay. You say you're going to do something for us, and they don't. And now they're not even talking about us. Again, it's Black History Month, so I guess they would be remiss if they didn't talk about us, right? It was like, oh, we got to kind of talk about them. But you're also hearing and seeing them talk about Black and brown, Black and brown, black and brown. Even during Black History Month, we can't even have our own month, the little funky 28 days. We can't even have it because, of course, now you know that these ICE raids and things are going on. And so they want to marry in the situation of the illegal immigrants and the brown community. And it's not just the brown community that's here illegally, right? But for whatever reason, they say black and brown. Why not black and yellow and black and red or whatever? But black and brown. So we can't even have our own month or anything like that. And that's really to tug on our emotions. Well, it's Black History Month, but you have the same struggles. You have the same struggles of the people who, Trump and ICE, who they're messing with. And, we should just get on board. I see the NAACP doing it. I see the Congressional Black Caucus doing it. You name it. All these so-called Black organizations and these Black politicians, they're all talking about illegal immigration, helping the illegal immigration, defunding ICE, abolishing ICE during Black History Month. And as I said too yesterday during the State of the Union, a lot of these Democrats, a lot of them Black, didn't even go. Now Al Green here in Texas, he went and he held up a sign. He got put out like right before it even started or whatever it is. But the rest of them didn't show up because they want to send a message to Trump about what he's doing with ICE and all this other stuff. Anyway, so with Isaac Bryan talking about America, they need to take care of Black folks. That was his words. They need to America needs to take care of Black folks because of Black folks are taking care of America. Well, it's like, first of all, sir, you don't even believe that because when you had an opportunity to do it, you didn't. You stuttered. You didn't even stutter. You didn't even get in the car, right? You didn't stutter on the gas. He didn't even get in the car because he didn't put the bills on the floor. But there he is, and then I don't know, y'all. Maybe y'all could tell me. Do they go to this school or something where they learn how to inflect their words the same, and they got their their civil rights marching speech, talking points, they all kind of sound the same, whether it's Obama. Y'all remember when Kamala tried to do it? You better thank a union member, right? Maybe they all kind of just go to like the same school of, this is how you trick the Negro. This is how you get them emotional. You ain't really got to be saying nothing. It's like the pastor. I always talk about the pastor. Not all pastors, because I know some people really love their pastors. But a lot of times pastors just and they running from one side of the church and running to the other, and everybody just running right behind them. And then like, he sure preached a good message. Yes, he did. What did he talk about? I don't know, but it was good. It was so good. The pastor, boy, I just love. So the Black politician is like that too. They'll show up and they'll say things and like he was doing string words together. America needs to take care of Black. What does that mean? What does it mean that America needs to take care of Black folks? Well, I'll tell you what that means, okay? Because I took the time to find out. All right. So if Isaac Bryan was serious about America taking care of Black folks, these are his words, when he had the opportunity to do it, to get reparations, especially in California, right? Because a lot of people say, what California does, the rest of the nation will follow, okay? Good or bad. So if he wasn't a turkey and he helped get reparations and was serious about it, because we know they weren't really serious, here's a couple things that could have helped us as descendants of slavery, okay? Number one, could have closed the racial wealth gap. Substantial direct payments would have immediately bridged the gap. Immense, I read ahead in my head instead of reading the words, but let me start over. Closing the racial wealth gap, substantial direct payments would immediately bridge the immense wealth disparity between Blacks and white households, okay? That's what reparations would have done. Just one of the things, okay? We would have gotten that wealth gap. They say, I didn't know, it's about $800,000, give or take. That's what the wealth gap is. Now we know that wealth gap is there for a whole host of reasons, including that our ancestors were robbed of the labor and a whole host of other things. And when they were promised the 40 acres and the mule and all these other great things, they did not get it. In fact, they gave it to the slave master because they said, well, you lost something, okay? Because you lost something, we're going to give it back to you. That helped with the wealth gap. And then, whether it's stolen land, redlining, gentrification, systemic and institutional racism, Jim Crow, the mass incarceration, all of these things aid in the wealth gap, right? Now, of course, number two, increase home ownership rates. Funds would allow families to afford down payments, breaking cycles of renting and building intergenerational equity, right? Because we all know that real estate is how a lot of people build wealth and leave generational wealth. You know, when grandmama, grandpapa, they pass away, they normally do what? They give their houses, or they give it to their children. And what do their children do? Their children sell it to the white man. That's a different story, though. We ain't here for that. So basically, having houses and real estate and land will allow us to do that. Hey, I'm going to give you a house, right? There's a lot of situations where people just give their children a house. Hey, I got an extra house. Here you go, right? Having that reparation, that cash would allow us to do that. Next. Okay, let me remove this banner so we can see everything there is to see. Okay, now, three, entrepreneurship and business capital. Capital would enable the launching, expansion, and stabilization of Black-owned businesses, promoting community economic development, right? We could build and own and control our own businesses if we had our own money. Now, let's keep it a buck. We have our own money. It is said that we'll reach about $2 trillion or whatever, but we just give a lot of it away because we don't have certain things. But if we had that reparations, a lot of people would build businesses. They sure would. And we would be able to develop our, communities and things like that because we have the money. Now, number 4 says a significant debt reduction. Direct cash would help eliminate student loans and predatory debt, freeing up income for investments and savings, right? Because I think they said that student loan debts is one of the highest debts held by Americans, and specifically that of Black Americans and Black women, right? Have a lot of student loan debt. But if we had the money, we probably wouldn't have to go get no loans, or we could pay the loans off. And as I said, we could invest that money. We could save it. Like, we could do some real conducive things with that money if we had reparations. And Isaac Bryan and his homies and a whole lot of other people would get up off the money. Okay. Now, number 5 says improved health. And now this is a big one, y'all. Improved health outcomes and reduce mortality. It says increased wealth is directly linked to better access to health care, and according to National Institutes of Health research, could significantly reduce premature deaths in the Black community. Now, I could be here forever talking about that, but we know that sometimes because we don't whether have the money, and it's expensive to eat healthy. It shouldn't be expensive to eat healthy, but it is. It's cheaper to go get you a box of top ramen or some chips or whatever it is. And the other thing is we have food deserts in our neighborhoods, our communities. Food deserts means there's not a fully fledged grocery store there. Normally it's like a bodega or a liquor store or whatever it is. And they ain't got no good food up in there at all. They don't have a tomato or a grape, but you can go get you some pig feet, some pickled eggs, or whatever it is, stuff that's not going to keep you here long. But if we had that money, we could build our own, whole food like grocery stores where we can get the nutrients, and then we could go see better doctors, because a lot of people in our community maybe don't have health care. They don't have good health care for whatever reason it is. But if you have money, yeah, you can pay like you weigh. I want that doctor over there. You ain't going to choose my doctor. I'm choosing a doctor because I got the money, right? So number 6, educational access and equity. Funds could finance higher education, alleviating the need for loans and providing better opportunities for future generations. So again, if we had the money, we could go to whatever school we want to go to. We could build our own schools, right? Build our own schools. And I know we got HBCUs, and for whatever reason, I don't know, people don't seem like they want to go there. Although I heard that the enrollment rate at the HBCUs are starting to uptick. So that's a good thing, especially with a lot of things that's going on with the Trump administration, education, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, moving right along. Number 7, increase financial security and stability. A strong financial cushion will protect families from emergencies, reducing vulnerability to economic exploitation and systemic poverty. Okay, So this is what reparations would do if we had it. We can have a little savings. They said, I think the average American, is probably less than that now. I think $400. They don't have $400 for an emergency. They would have to tap into credit cards, maybe get some from the homie or whatever it is. But we would have that money and the cushion to avoid being exploited, right? Because we are exploited the most. If you didn't know, we are exploited the most with the checking the cashes type thing, right? The payday loans and things like that. Those are very, and I'm going to say allegedly for legal reasons, very predatory. And when you go in there, you might be borrowing $3, but you're going to end up paying $40,000. Okay. And obviously I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying, so we could avoid the checking the cashes if we had our money. Number 8, investments in a community infrastructure. Localized investments such as rebuilding neighborhoods and supporting local businesses would revitalize neglected communities. Okay. So we could pour back into our communities. We can beautify them. We can open up these buildings. Like, for example, in Chicago, they on the south side have been told that a certain school was going to be open for the youth and things like that. Well, they opened it for the illegal immigrants. Okay. But if we had the money, we could say, okay, well, we going to open it, or we going to buy some land, buy our own, youth center and things like that. Right. So that's what reparations would do. Now, lastly, and we could be here forever, but we're not. Number 9 says intergenerational wealth transfer. Unlike income, inherited assets allow families to pass down economic stability, fostering long-term security for children and grandchildren. So some of those things are investments like life insurance and just a whole host of other things where we can transfer the wealth. Right. So just staying with the life insurance thing. I used to sell life insurance. I do not have the ability to sell it anymore. I'm not an agent, but and it should be said that Black Americans, we are the most insured, but we're the most underinsured. But that's what wealthy people do. Or, people who know they get life insurance, even if they have houses and things like that, they get life insurance to protect against death. So let's say I have life insurance, I pass away. My daughter is going to get the life insurance policy and any other thing that I have, right? Really, which is nothing, a cup and 2 plates at this point. But she was still get the money, and that's called passing down generational wealth, and she can build and do something with it and pass it down to her children, okay? So on and so forth. And then lastly, psychological and social empowerment, a formal apology. We don't want that. We got plenty of that. Coupled with economic redress, provides restitution, which can improve mental health and foster a sense of justice and stability. So yeah, we'll feel better with the money. Bump the apology, right? And it's cute. Okay, thank you. But I want the apology as they're doing this. Oh, we're so sorry for what we did to y'all. Here's a check. Make sure it's enough zeros on there. Yes, and I will accept your apology. Thank you, right? That's the only way we want an apology. So I say all that to say, yes, those things, the reparations would help. Isaac Bryan, he's playing in our faces. That's why, the graphic designer, I told him, I said, oh, that was good. He made him look like a clown. I didn't even tell him to do it, but because I talk about Isaac Bryan so much, I think Brother Aiken just already knows, okay, listen, he's a clown. So he made him look like a clown. I was like, yes, that is good. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful to Isaac Bryan. I don't know him personally, but I know what he did that summer to Black folks when he had an opportunity to even just really fight for it. And he didn't do it at all. And so he should always be talked about. And in fact, he likes talking about Black history so much. Well, guess what, Isaac? You're a part of Black history. And I'm going to make sure of that. I'm going to make sure when you're gone and your children are gone and your grandchildren are gone, that they know what you did to Black Californians when you had the opportunity to help you and all of the other ones. And they ain't off the hook because, as I said, Africatown Coalition, oh yeah, everywhere they go, they be there too. Like, yeah, hello, it's me. We remember what you did. Say you're going to fight for reparations. And a lot of times they got to twist their arm behind their back to make them do it. They're like, okay, I support it. Just so they can leave them alone, right? I forget the name of the one representative, but I'm going to talk about her in the future. But she was in a car at a parade, right? at the Martin Luther King parade, and they ran up on her and they had to force her to say that she supports reparations. She's Egyptian and Guatemalan or something like that, but she's part of the California Legislative Black Caucus. So they reluctantly say they're going to do it. Now, this is the other thing before I jump into the comment section. All the things that I just talked about down there, with how reparations would help us. The good news is until that reparations check hits our bank accounts or whatever it is, there's things that we can do. We can stop giving 97% of the almost $2 trillion that we see in our community away. We could stop doing that. Even again, if we were to keep 10% of that, we can do all of the things that I talked about. Okay. Now, I ain't pocket watching nobody. I can't tell them what to do with their money, but we can even do those things on a personal basis, right? If you ain't got life insurance, again, I don't have the ability to sell it. I just have to say that because I don't want people to think that I'm personally trying to sell it, but you should have life insurance if you don't have it. If your children don't have life insurance, they should have it. You can insure a baby at 10 days old and it's cheap. And that price normally stays that way until they're an adult or you don't have it anymore or they gone up the glory or whatever it is. You should do those things, okay? We should be about savings. We should not be about giving our money to people, especially who do not like us. We should not be going into establishments that will treat us horrible. We should be talking about building our own establishments, and we should be going into city council meetings, right? When they do the planning of what they're going to put in this community, that community. And you notice in our communities, we got all the checking, the cashes, the liquor stores, the Dollar Trees, the 99-cent stores, and the pawn shops, and the gold, buybacks, and all the other stuff, the smoke shops, you name it. They have that. We got 14 Popeyes on one block, all the McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger Kings. So when you go to those meetings, you be like, enough. Okay. You letting all these people build all these things in our neighborhood, and we ain't got a store where they sell tomatoes that ain't already chopped up to put in some tacos we don't need to be eating. Okay. So we can save ourselves in the meantime. That's why the call was to up United Nation, accomplish what you will, do for self, and to practice group economics. But listen, it's not if we get the reparations check or not if, it's when, because we will get it. It's not, well, I don't know if we get it. No, we gonna get it. Okay. Because slavery, we could just stop at slavery, is America's original sin that they never atoned for. And you cannot do things to people and not have to atone for it or get what you got coming, which is why we see all these calamities, right? As told in The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we see all these calamities unfolding because you can't do that to God's chosen people. And if you didn't know, yeah, Black folks is God chosen people. If you didn't know, now you know. So anyway, let me see what y'all got to say. Thank you for bearing with me. Lisa, how you doing? Thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you for the donation, $26. Yes, indeed. And it is actually Savior's Day, per that of the Nation of Islam, February 26th. So thank you. Appreciate that. So let me go all the way up to the top. Oh, y'all in here thick today, and that's good. All right, so I think I stopped here. Original man, how you doing? Walaikum salam. LB, what's going on with you? Says Grand Risings. Well, back at you. Let's see. Isaac. JJ, you say Isaac is a joke? Yeah, and it's too bad. Like, why are you a joke? Why not just go to office and do? Okay, for a perfect example, before I get into the comments, I was having this conversation with my daughter about Zoran Mandani this morning. Now, y'all know Zoran, not moron, I'm sure they call him that, but Zoran Mandani, he is the new mayor of New York City. Now, I don't know if y'all saw a couple of days ago, it was, real bad snowstorm there, and you just couldn't drive or walk anywhere. So what he did was he said, okay, I'm going to pay people $30 an hour. $30 an hour to come out here and shovel snow to clear up the streets and the sidewalks. And then, a lot of people was out there. They said the streets have never been clearer as far as during snow season and stuff like that. So there were some people was like, well, it's taxpayers' dollars. But a lot of people that I guess lived there was like, we don't mind that it's taxpayers' dollars because he's using it to do something that's going to benefit everybody. So that's what politicians should be doing. doing something that benefits everybody. We send you to office not to just do for one group and neglect the other. You're supposed to make sure everybody gets something out of the deal. But especially, I don't know if especially, but I'll say the black politicians too, they go and they do it to us the worst. Barack Obama is a prime example. Most of us, when I say us, I ain't gonna lie to kick it, say I didn't vote for him. I voted for him twice, right? Fell on my knees the first time when he won. That's a different story. Anyway, a lot of us thought, hey, he's gonna go in there and we're gonna be getting some checks. We're gonna be getting it all. He didn't do anything for us specifically. And often talks about why he didn't do it. I didn't want them other people to be mad at me, so I just couldn't do it. He didn't want to do it. Anyway, and then we met the internet. Oh, that's a loaded name right there. How you doing? It says, thank you for bringing up these issues. It is my pleasure. McQueen says he's the same one that shot it down and then went out in the crowd with the Latinos. Yeah, he still be out there with the Latinos. Wait till March 1st. You ain't gonna see him talk about us. Black History Month. He got a fake and shake, Well, back in the day, black people were slaves. And he's like, okay, it's March 1st. That's enough of that. Just watch. You watch. Original Skywalker, he says that's the problem, riding off a damn lie. Yeah, I mean, he gonna do it. And the other thing is too, we got to keep telling these stories. We can't, because they say that Black Americans especially, they say we have amnesia. Did y'all know that? They say that we have amnesia because people do the worst things to us and then we're and then after a while I was like, yeah, y'all remember when that police officer had his knee on that George Floyd's neck? Yeah, that was terrible. And then we go on about it. Oh, you remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, to bring awareness to the police brutality of Black folks, and they put him out the league and all kind of stuff. Remember that? And we was mad for 2 minutes. And then now we all got our favorite jerseys on. We had every game, rooting for the same people who blackballed them. Amnesia. Clove Rose, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. You said self-preservation kicking in too late. Cloudless, he says shameless, bootlicking, sellouts, shaking my... you real spicy this morning, huh? They have some real nerve. Kid Cash, what's going on? She says Isaac is a goofy. Give those cash reparations to Black Californians. Double talking BS. Or yeah, because a lot of times when he be on the floor, I guess that's where he was. He don't think people gonna see it. He don't think people's gonna see it or pay attention. So he just gets up there. Black people, Black history. Slaves. Underground Railroad. The end. African Native, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Tiffany, what's going on? Says, I didn't hear Jesse Jackson's family complaining. Maybe they want to be left alone. That's what I'm saying. But see, that's another talking point so they could keep Black folks in our emotions. Oh, my God. They won't put Jesse Jackson's body at the rotund. Oh, God. There's a lot of people, who's not going to be at the rotund. That don't erase what he's done, And you got a lot of people at the Capitol who are racist, whether they're Republican or Democrat. So he'll be buried. I think that's the point. Let's see. Let me skip down so I can catch up. Brother Damon, what is going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Prophet Templeton, what's going on with you? Says reparations will come from World Court and African Union ships will also come from AU. I don't know. It's gonna come from somewhere, but it got to come from the United States government first. Okay, we'll take it from everywhere else, but the United States government need to ante up. Yes, indeed. Brother Damon says, "Messy Jesse, what lying in state miss me with that BS." Well, it was important to Black America. I know some people really and all over really. You had the Rainbow Coalition, right? And so there's some people who didn't like Jesse Jackson, but I don't think it's above. I don't think it'd be out of the ordinary to ask that he lie in state. I could see that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. General Lovature, what's going on? She says, hey, what's going on, Queen? Everything. I actually got to go vote early today. That's what's going on. Go vote early and register my car. I got 2 days to do it and just being lazy. Yolanda, how you doing? Says they talk about it, they don't be about it. Absolutely. Valerie, how you doing? Says thank you. Why must we wait for them, folks, to honor our political heroes? Are we responsible adults or what? It says homage to Reverend Jesse Jackson is on us. Stop the foolishness. He's to ours to honor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We keep on in 2026, keep begging white folks to do things that we should be doing. And we know they don't want to do it. Well, you need to do it. Like, do we take care of our own? We're not, you know, we act like if they don't acknowledge us or validate us, then we ain't nothing. I guess I'm not nothing now. If white people don't say I'm something, we got to unlearn that. Global Logistics, how you doing? Says reparations now, like right now. Derek, how you doing? Says I'm left-handed. Give you money. You left-handed. I'm ambidextrous too, believe it or not. But you said you're left-handed. D-Mac, how you doing? Says what's good? Everything. That guy McFly was up. He says no. But use black people momentum in 2020 to give Asians a non-inclusive hate crime bill after taking office. They sure did. They sure did use us. They said we were the boogeyman, right? They showed all these videos of us, and I don't know how many of them were Black American, right? Some of them probably were, some of them probably were, I don't know. But nevertheless, they use black folks to illustrate that this is why Asians need a hate crime bill, because the blacks are out there trying to do something to them, but we don't have one. African Native says what's intended for blacks should benefit everybody, but what benefits them, people never includes blacks. You talk about Kamala. He said Inc. Intelligence, how you doing? Says Black America is gossip. He said who believes them, the poor class or upper class? He says if I played politics, I wouldn't be talking, I would be demanding. Oh, I totally agree with you. I don't know how much gossip. Yeah, there's a lot of gossip in our community. I know what that means, but yeah, enough talking. But it's my job to talk, I guess, in a sense. I do other things too, but I disseminate information. And as I said, I was contacted by the New York Post. And they asked me about Isaac Bryan because they say, says, I see you talk about him a lot, and he was doing an expose type of thing on him. And I didn't get into all of that because I don't know how true any of that is. And I just basically said, well, if it's true, that's horrible. They said he paid the Shade Room, speaking of gossip, right, a whole bunch of money to advertise on the Shade Room. And that's when I said, well, he's paying money to a gossip rag to advertise to a people he'll never help. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Rob Tyler, what's going on with you? Says Newsom did nothing for black people. Stop the reparation bill, and you black people are still going to vote for Newsom in the next presidential election. So silly. Well, when you say you, I don't know who you're talking about, but maybe you saying collectively. Yeah, you're right. Black folks gonna show up and show out. When I say we collectively, we're gonna be twerking to the polls. We're gonna bring out Saucy Santana and Trina talking about no voting, no fucking. I'm sure we'll smell some fish being fried somewhere, yeah, all that's going to take place. And we'll see if it's Gavin Newsom. I think it'll be Gavin Newsom on a Democratic ticket. He'll be in every church. You better thank the union. He gonna have his black scent going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so just stay tuned. Levon, what's going on with you? You say Trump asked everyone at the union, the State of the Union speech, to stand up for the American people, and no, not one of the Democrats stood up. He says we need to be invested in an independent candidate that has the American people at interest. Yeah, and it's kabuki theater, right? Trump is up there, playing and feeding red meat to his base, right? Look at the Democrats. Like I said, I watched most of it, but I fell asleep because I thought he was going to fall asleep. He just, on the podium talking. So I fell asleep. But that's what they do. They're playing to the American people. It's theater. The Democrats ain't gonna stand up, and he's gonna point it out, and they all do it. It's theater, Shame on y'all. That's what he said. Shame on y'all for not standing up. And it's like, who cares? Whether they stand up or not, the American people are still getting their backbone or their tailbone kicked in. So Luge Design, how you doing? Says they really think we're stupid. Yeah, in a sense, sometimes we do behave that way. Like somebody just said, we're gonna show up to vote for them, you know. So yeah, John, how you doing? Say we not fools. No, we're not. We're waking up. We are really waking up. I will say that. Okay, so let's see. Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. D-Max says, how are we as a people ever going to overcome when we're easily swayed with the belief of hope, change, and equality? It's all lies, always have been, always will be until we wake up from this fairy tale. Yep, absolutely. Lawrence, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? I want to make sure I get everybody's comments. I'm going to try. Mr. Ernest, how you doing? Good morning to you. Hope that you're having a fabulous day. Walk with me, NYC. Did you make a comment and I skipped over it? I hope that I didn't. I think I did, but basically what you said was every black, okay. And JJ, you say main problem is that a Democrat prohibit black politicians from helping their own communities. That's why we need our own party. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so Walk with Me NYC said there's no good reason as to why we don't already have our own coast to coast banks and supermarkets. We have our own banks. I told y'all I have a black owned bank account, One United. I've had it for a while. And then, like I said, last year sometime I looked just to kind of see what was going on because I saw some other companies calls playing as black owned. So I looked, when I got it, it wasn't this way. But when I looked, they have white people sitting on the board of One United Bank, which is a black bank. It's been around a long time. It's in Los Angeles. And I said, well, look at that. So yeah, we still have black banks, but how black are they if you got, you know, other people who aren't black sitting at the board of these companies? Something tells me they're pulling the strings, you know? So we should have it all the way, like everybody else does. Jasmine, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. David, what's going on? She says, reach out to his office and interview him and the rest of the black politicians. Black media must get these people on a mic. You know what? I would love to interview Isaac. But something tells me he won't. I can reach out to him. In fact, I will reach out to him. I will reach out to him and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you, you know, have a conversation with him. But see, the problem is, and I'm not mean. I don't think I'm mean. I'm just not going to be playing around like, so tell me what your favorite condiment on your hot dogs are. Oh, where do you like to vacation? No, we're going to ask some real questions, you know, right off the bat. Is there a good reason why you didn't take those bills to Gavin Newsom to make a decision? How are you part of the California Legislative Black Caucus and you don't legislate for black people? See, those are the things I would ask. I'd be nice, you know. I'm not going to be confrontational, but, you know, I'm not above it. Sister Shirley, how are you? Says, let's not be tricked by these black politicians. They are trying to save face. Yeah, and then again, when election season is over with, they're going to kick us out of the car, right? Sister Sunlight says, Chicago is a beautiful city. It is. I like Chicago. I really do. Let's see. Vince Styles, how you doing? Says spirituality is spiritually rather. He says these other groups don't want black people to have anything. That's why they don't want black people to have reparations. They want us to remain customers and not business owners. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, indeed. That is absolutely right. Because if we get off independent like we used to be, That's why I love this picture. This is Madam C.J. Walker's mansion, Villa Lararo, and she bought that after building a business, multi-level marketing, right? Some say she was the first to do it. Multi-level marketing, when she built the business and she gave other people opportunities to have an income by selling the products, and they can recruit other people and things like that. And she was able to build an empire and get a lot of those people who were probably what they call washer women, like she was, washing dirty clothes and butlers and things like that. And she was able to remove them out of being employed with white folks, and she employed them. So yeah. But we've gotten away from that. We used to have our own things, our own towns, not so much. And on the app, I could say what I wanted to say right now, But these books that I'm reading, it's a series of 3 of them. By the Nation of Islam. It's called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And it talks about why we are a customer base. But I won't go too much further into that. Truth to Power, how you doing? Says, why didn't Texas buy those illegal bus? Says, why didn't they bus those illegal immigrants to ICE? Well, you got to remember too, that was during the Biden administration. I guess they could have, but I think they wanted to prove a point to, well, we're going to send them to the party that is championing illegal immigration. I'm not mad at that. Because they're not coming in through Washington per se, right? They're going in through the border states, which a lot of them happen to be red, except for California or whatever, or wherever they're coming from, whether it's Canada. There's a lot of Indians and Chinese were coming through there. But yeah, bus them to the places that wanted that to go on. Let them hold the burden of paying for it and all that. So I think that's kind of why. Chris, how you doing? Says, I don't think I would accept their apology, but I would gladly cash that check, though. You and me both. To find what's going on with you. Says, my problem with these reparation talks is they go nowhere. Yeah, absolutely. And I should say that there's a lot of people who are boots on the ground, like Tamara Shealy Johnson. I might interview her along with my co-host Donovan. We interview her a lot, and she reaches out to me, and I tell her, whenever you want to reach out to me and come on and talk about what's going on, my platform is your platform. So I've interviewed her a couple of times. We're really in close contact, but I bring her up is because she is, I call her a reparations crusader. She actually is boots on the ground. She's in Congress. They're in Washington. She's in Georgia. That's where she's at, right? So she's really having these conversations and doing the heavy lifting, right? So there are people who are doing that, like doing it for real, not playing and this, that, and the other. And that's her gift, right? Boots on the ground. My gift is dissemination of information. And so that's what I do. So, yeah, but you're right. We need to stop doing more than just talking. But I just want to tell you that because there are people actively out there pursuing reparations, like for real. And she believes, this is what she tells us all the time, is that she says, I think the Republicans would probably do it before the Democrats. Now, these are conversations that she's having. So just stay tuned for more of that. But I concede that, definitely. So let's see. Just skipping down. Who haven't I seen? Just passing through. How you doing? Says, if they never give reparations, I expect the Cosmo to do it anyway. Oh, we'll get it. We will get it. Eileen, I hope I said that right. Eileen says, no, Israel is God's chosen people. Israel is God's chosen people. Black people, God's chosen people. And if you know, you know. Who you think they were talking about in the books? But I get it. Let's see. Dominique, what's going on with you? It says Obama didn't even want to be associated with being black. Well, they become black. What did Trump say? From what I understand, Kamala just became black, or she just turned black. I don't know. Barack is black. His daddy is Kenyan, and his mama white or whatever. But yeah, they just black enough to get the black vote, and then they go about the business of everybody else but black. So yeah. Dub is the foundation. How you doing? Says, remember when Obama said Trayvon Martin looks like my unborn son? And that was all he did or said about black folks. And then he turned around and did the blue alert law that lets police officers know when they're in danger. They got all kind of things to protect them. Vests, weapons, all kind of things. And they needed something else. It's Black Americans that are out there unprotected. We don't know when we'll have an adverse reaction or interaction rather with a police officer. And it might be our last interaction with anything. Ain't nobody warning us that, hey, there's a rogue officer out there on the loose looking for black folks. Ain't nobody warning us, but he felt the need to do that. So yeah. Barack Obama. Jay, what's going on with you? Says here. Okay. And Jay, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love and appreciate you for that. And to everybody who's liked, subscribed, gotten the app, right? Bought some tickets, whatever it is you've done, you just your presence. Even if you didn't comment, you're just watching. Thank you very much as well. It is all appreciated. Beverly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Majestic Minister, how you doing? And Patrick, how you doing? Says, Ashe, my spiritual adept, dark goddess. Love your content. Well, I appreciate that. You got me. I'm gonna be, you know how Fred Flintstone, he used to walk on his toes. That's how I'm gonna be when I log off here. Valerie says, Demetra, if we wanted to establish, let's do this account, would you, Stuart? He says, please. Someone said the 50 million blacks in America, $1, $4 a month would blow it out the water. Help. I could. I don't know if I would. I would like it to that. Something like that should really go to a trustworthy black financial firm that's really going to do the right thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, we all just gave $1 a piece. That's a lot of money to do something with. But we should be talking like that. Maybe it's something we really should explore. Sophia, how you doing? Says that black guy so-called attacking Asians was an actor, some guy in both New York and Los Angeles. Oh, haven't heard anything about that. Albie Chill, how you doing? You didn't get your alerts. Shame on YouTube for that. But you're here now. Old school, what's going on? She says FBA needs our own grocery store, our own grocery franchise, grocery store, meat market, tire shops, automotive shops, etc. We used to have it. But as the father of Black History Month, let me see if I can get it real quick because I see my time is a ticking. Got all these books here. The father of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, he talked about why we don't have those things, because we went off and got these fancy schmancy degrees and things like that we can use, but we forgot that we needed to be auto mechanics and grocers and butchers and things like that. And so those things are fading away, right? People are just, whether the people are too old now to work in the meat market anymore, and their kids, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a butcher, right? Because they done went off and got these degrees, and that's what he was talking about. But we didn't teach our children, hey, you need to continue on what I'm doing so that we'll have these things in our community, because we always need those things, right? So absolutely. Cosmic Prophecies, what's going on? It says all banks are Rothschild owned. We have to create our own. Yep. Bakari, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I appreciate that. Shirley, what's going on? Says, so talk about who will work and do something about for real for Black people, if not Newsom. Well, it's early. I don't know. Sounds like the Democratic establishment wants Newsom. I don't know. It just remains to be seen. Ursa, what's going on with you? Buckhorse, how are you doing? And I'm so sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to everybody. Sister B, Miss Trees, what's going on with you? Ursa, thank you so much. She says, thanks for exposing these folks, always saying their ancestors weren't here. Absolutely. And thank you so much for that love and appreciate you. Eleanor, what's going on? It says FBA for life, peace and love. Okay. Edward, how you doing? Oh, I got to the bottom. Would you look at that? Ain't God good? And cool. V, what's going on? It says it's time we vote him and all the other Black politicians out of office, and we don't vote for any other Black politician for the next 12 years to show we mean business. Woo! Now that's standing on business right there. Next, Rand, how you doing? It says Gavin Newsom did nothing for California, and he won't do anything for America, and most definitely not Black Americans. I know. Mr. Brewster, how you doing? I'm just saying, because it's all about optics. He fits the part. He's white. He's handsome. Some people would say he's charismatic. He's, a brute. He's going toe to toe with that of Trump. He's got that raspy voice type thing going on. He comes off as the people's champ type thing. So that's all you need nowadays. People don't really delve into who they are and what they'll do. They just looking for somebody to be the juxtaposition of Trump. And there needs to be one, because, Trump and them, they doing some things that's off the chain, but who that needs to be, I don't know. It needs to be somebody who's going to do for all and definitely say, yeah, let's make it right with Black America. So absolutely. Jay McClendon, what's going on with you? Bernice, how you doing? Darnell, what's going on with you? Anyway, I better go because that's my time. I will be back on my channel on Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time, and back here Tuesday, 11 a.m. So in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. It is always my pleasure to sit here and have this conversation with you. In the meantime, peace.